Hello, friends. Thank you for joining us on another edition of new top comic covers of the week. Hopefully, you checked out my first video. Put that up just a couple days ago on Saturday. Picked our top 3 covers, went over Silver City Con, etc. Don't need to rehash all that. We're going to get right into top comic covers of the week. Now, in the first video, I admitted there might be a few honorable mentions, smuggles, we'll say, etc. I gotta be honest, we have a few honorable mentions this week. You'll see. First, we want to just talk about kind of the biggest comic of this week, and honestly, it feels like kind of the biggest comic coming out in a while. I'll give you a hint. I have my 2 Justice League membership cards now. We got Batman, Superman. For any of you debating about power levels, just so you know, Superman's at 100, S100, Batman S75. I'll leave it up to you. Anyway, we want to honor Absolute Batman, #1. This cover is by Nick Dragotta and Frank Martin. It's a great cover. It feels like one of those covers that we're all just going to remember, an iconic cover. They did a great job on a comic that everyone's talking about. I am caught up through the All-In Special, but I haven't read this yet, so I'm very much looking forward to this. So figured I'd give it, just for sort of the first spot, we got our Batman riding a motorcycle t-shirt, pretty badass, and just wanted to make sure we mention the big guy. Next up, next honorable mention, I'll say. This will be a pretty quick one. So, all this year for Disney's 100th year being a company, they've been doing these Disney covers of Marvel iconic comic cover issues. And I just have to say, this is maybe my favorite one, or one of my very favorites that have come out. So this is Amazing Spider-Man 59. They're doing an homage of Uncanny X-Men 268. I just gotta say, it's maybe, like I said, my favorite one so far. Giving Goofy dinner utensils to signify Wolverine's claws was just a stroke of genius. So I just felt like we had to give a little bit of mention to this one too. But again, not one of the top 3 covers. And last honorable mention, I swear, okay? So, I said last time I'm big usually on the variant covers. Not that I don't ever get, obviously, the A covers. Absolute Batman, that's an A cover. But I just wanted to kind of give an honor because I buy most of the X-Men books. X-Men are probably my favorite, ongoing series. Obviously, it's pretty wide-ranging at this point, but I just want to honor this A cover because it's really creative, excellent, and just wanted to show you guys. So this is Exceptional X-Men #2. This cover is by Carmen Carnero, Nolan Woodard. We get Shadowcat pulling character in through the wall. White background, just looks great. I just wanted to, again, give a quick shout out. Not as much of a focus as a top 3 comic value, but just wanted to give it a little bit of shine. And without further ado, this might look familiar. We have our top 3 new comic covers of the week. Do you feel the suspense building? I do. All right. First up, #3. Now, this was a difficult week, as I'm guessing most will, as I'm just starting to do this, and I already have 3 honorable mentions to talk about before we even get to the top 3. However, this was really hard. In a lot of weeks, this might be #1, to be honest with you. And when I was doing my ordering, I anticipated this might be the #1. But we have #3 top new comic cover of the week is DC versus Vampires, World War #3, done by Kendrick Lim, Wonder Woman as a vampire, glowing lasso. I feel like I'm getting a little glare there. But it's just, I mean, the detail, blood coming down the lip, just, it's fantastic. Colors, so creative. Just a fantastic cover. I haven't read any of this series. I'm not interested in DC versus Vampires World War. But when I saw the cover, I had to order this one. So that is #3, Kendrick Lim. Next up, #2, top new comic cover of the week. This is a series I'm very excited to read. With a lot of miniseries, I usually end up waiting for all or most of the books to come out before I start reading them, just because I don't want to forget what happens when there's a month between comics coming out. I think after this issue, I might decide to just start reading the first couple, just so I can get some footing in there as it's going to be coming out. So this is the new series by Jeff Lemire, Minor Arcana. This is a variant cover by Riko Murakami, and it is gorgeous. If you notice, even her face is breaking apart into cards, which then the tarot cards come toward the front of the cover. Colors, great palette, beautiful background, just, it's an excellent cover. I think you'll see both with this and the #1 comic cover of the week, the attention to detail is something that definitely puts it over the edge. So we have Riko Murakami's Minor Arcana #2 as our #2 comic cover of the week. And without further ado, top new comic cover of the week, #1. Again, this is a cover that I bought just because of the cover. I don't read these comics, but that's okay. Now, actually, I'm going to give a little preface too. So recently, as I'm sure a lot of you know, Marvel often does a series of covers. So across different titles, they have variants that kind of fit some particular theme. They did Deadpool Kills, I think last month it was, or 2 months ago. Recently they're doing these Doctor Doom variants, and some of them are very cool. For the most part, when they do these themes, I'm not always jumping at the chance to get one. It feels a little forced sometimes, in my opinion, but to each their own. However, this one I think really hit the mark. So, #1, top new comic cover of the week. We have Fantastic Four #26, Doom variant by Ben Harvey. Look at this. I'm surprised it's not Alex Ross. It looks like an Alex Ross cover. So we have Dr. Doom holding Mr. Fantastic, who's stretched out toward the ground. He's already defeated pretty much the rest of the Fantastic Four. We get Johnny Storm in embers. We get the Thing missing chunks off of his body. And we get Sue Storm fading into invisibility here as she's in pain and fearing for her husband, as Doombots watch in the background. I mean, it's just, like I said, it hits the mark perfectly. You can't do better than this with a Doom cover, I think. It's, again, the color palette it just works so well together. I do love this trade dress for the Fantastic Four books. There have been a couple times where I've almost bought covers, probably because how the trade dress looks in comparison to the cover. But it's great, and it earns our #1 top spot of the week. So, just to recap, rapid fire. somewhat rapid fire because it took me a second to pick them up without dropping them. We get Absolute Batman number 1, honorable mention. Amazing Spider-Man 59, homage to Uncanny X-Men 268. By the way, the artist Giada Parasanotto. I think I said that right. Honorable mention number 2. We get Exceptional X-Men number 2, Carmen Carnero and Nolan Woodard doing the cover. Honorable mention number 3. Then DC vs. Vampires World War number 3, done by Kendrick Lim, is our number 3 comic cover of the week. Minor Arcana number 2, covered by Riko Murakami, is our number 2 comic cover of the week. And last, but certainly not least, Fantastic Four number 26, Doom variant, done by Ben Harvey, is our number 1 top new comic cover of the week. This was last week's right here. Oh, and sorry, I should have said this in the beginning. We got our Storm picture up on the wall already. Anyways, thank you for joining us this week. This video was a little bit shorter. Next week, I'm going to try and make it even more concise, but still give you the same great quality in books. So thank you again for joining me, Josh, Starry Bandit Comics. Look forward to seeing you next week. Enjoy. I'm Batman. Go Mets.